Hello everyone, it's me Sanjay Vasu back again for another video. This time I'm doing it on Cambridge Primary Checkpoint for Mathematics Paper 1 April 2023. Let's start. You're not allowed to use a calculator, by the way. Question 1. Calculate 75 into 5 into 2 plus 65. That would be 75 into 5 into 2 first. That would be 750 plus 65, which is equal to 815. B. 8 plus 3 plus 2 into 7. That will be equal to, first we do brackets, 8 plus 5 into 7. Now multiplication, 8 plus 35, which is equal to 43. Question 2. User folds a paper circle to make a new shape. Write the length of the diameter of that circle. Since the distance between center and the circumference is 5 centimeters, that's the radius. Diameter will be radius into 2, which is 5 into 2, 10 centimeters. Question 3. Write 2.5 hours in minutes. That will be simply 2.5 into 60, which is equal to 150 minutes. Let's go to question 4. Complete the calculation. Half divided by 3. That will be equal to 1 by 6 because half by 3 is the same as half into 1 by 3. Multiplying denominator, multiplying numerator, you get 1 by 6. Question 5. Use a protractor to measure the size of the marked angle over here and write the answer in the space given. So since the protractors are always 180 degrees and this one is clearly greater than 180 degrees since it is a reflex angle, this is not as easy as it seems. But we can use the property that all angles around a point add up to 360 degrees. And we can measure this angle and then 360 minus the value of that angle will be the one which we need to find. If you measure this using a protractor, you will get 117 degrees. And now this will be 360 minus 117, which is equal to 243 degrees. And that will be our answer. Let's go to question 6. Question 6a. Here's a list of numbers drawing around a common multiple of 3 and 7. That means it has to be divisible by both 3 and 7, and the only one which actually fits that is 21. B. Here's a list of numbers drawing around a common factor of 4 and 6. That means that 4 and 6 have to be divisible by that number, both 4 and 6. So the answer is 2, the only number. That's the answer. Let's go to question 7. Anastasia draws a line of best fit on a scalar graph. A. Tick the graph with the correct line of best fit. Line of best fit has to pass through the middle or the approximate middle of the points and the trend they're going in. So this one is correct and the answer is the fourth option. Let's go to part B. Jamila draws a different scalar graph. She plots the age of each child in the class against the number of books they read. She thinks there's not a connection between the age and number of books each child reads. Take the scalar graph that supports Jamila's idea. So if there's no connection, that means there should be no correlation. That is the same meaning, right? So that means there should be no trend in the graph, and the first option is the answer, since we can see it's arranged like a cloud. It's randomly scattered. Question 8. Here are two negative numbers. Add the numbers, write the answer. So that would be minus 25 plus minus 10. That would be equal to simply minus 35 because minus 25 plus minus 10 is equal to minus 25 minus 10. That's minus 35. That's the answer. Let's go to question 9. Calculate a 2 by 3 of 18. That will be 2 by 3 into 18, which is equal to 12. B. 3 by 2 of 24. That will be equal to 3 by 2 into 24, which is equal to 36 if we did it correctly. That's the answer. Question 10. Complete A. 141.56 plus 13.213. That will be equal to... Okay, so this is going to be, if we add it properly, getting 154.773. And for part B, 17.512 minus dash is equal to 4.3. We can put the blank value as x. And now we bring x to the other side and 4.3 to the other side, meaning 17.512 minus 4.3 is equal to x. And x will be equal to, if we did it correctly, 13.212. So now we can just replace that, 13.212. That's the answer. Let's go to question 11. Here's 6 number cards. Use 3 cards to complete the statement. 6.2 divided by dash is equal to 6.2 into 10 divided by dash. So since we're multiplying by 10 here, we need to divide by a high amount. Let's take 1000. So let's just take, for example, this is 1000. So that means if we cancel out the 6.2's, 10 divided by 1000, which is 1 by 100, that will be the value of this fully here, right? Multiplied by this. So divide by that means multiply by 1 by that. So let's say it's 1 by 10. And then multiply by 1 by 10 again. That makes 1 by 100, right? So we can do 10 and 10 again to get 6.2 divided by 100 is equal to 6.2 to 10 by 1000, which is 6.2 divided by 100, which is correct. They both equal 0.062. That's the answer. Question 12. Pierre wants to produce a representation of his data. Draw a line to match data to the correct representation. First of all, number of plants in gardens. Let's check. Is this discrete or continuous? Which one is this? Number of plants is discrete data, right? Because it can only be counted in whole numbers. So it starts from 0, 1, 2, 3, so on. You cannot have like 1.5 plant, right? So that's why it's discrete, and discrete data can be represented in bar chart. For frequency diagram, that'll be continuous data. Now for heights of people, this is continuous data because it can take any value. So it is a frequency diagram. Number of cars in car parks, this is discrete data, so we put it in bar chart. Color of cars in car parks, this is also discrete data, so you put that as well in bar chart. And length of people's feet, this one can take any value, so it's continuous, and we can put that in frequency diagram. That's the answer. Let's go to question 13. Question 13. State the smallest number of squares to create a shape that has rotational symmetry of order 2 and no lines of symmetry. So we need the smallest number of squares that we shade. So actually the answer is just shading this one square, because this makes small number, which is only 1. That will be rotational symmetry of order 2, because if you rotate 180 degrees, you get the same thing again, and if you rotate one more time 180 degrees, you get back to the original position. And then no lines of symmetry, yes, this does not have any lines of symmetry. Just shade that one there. That is the answer. Question 14. Eva and Lily each have some flowers. The number of flowers that Eva has is represented by letter A, and the number of flowers that Lily has is letter B. Eva has more flowers than Lily, and 20 flowers altogether both of them have. Take all the correct pairs of numbers. So Eva has more flowers, which means A is greater than B, and they have to add up to 20 because that's the together. So A is 17 and B is 3, that's correct. A is 14, B is 12, that's wrong because they don't add up to 20. A is 24 and B is minus 4, this is also wrong. Why though? Because A is greater than B and they both add up to 20. Because, well, we cannot have a negative value of the number of flowers, right? You cannot have, for example, negative 4 flowers. That's not possible. So that's also wrong. Next, 11 and 9, that's correct. A is greater than B and they add up to 20. And now 8 and 12 is not correct because B is actually greater than A, but we need A to be greater, so that's wrong. Even though, yes, they add up to 20, the other condition is not satisfied. That's the answer. Let's go to question 15. Question 15, write the calculations in order of the size of the answer. Start with the smallest. First of all, 123 into 70. Let's calculate that. We're not allowed to use a calculator, so we have to do it normally. So if you do it correctly, you will get 8610. And now for 1, 2, 3, 4 into 7, if you do that correctly, you'll get 8638. And if you do 12 into 700 correctly, you get 8400. So smallest is 8400, 12 into 700. Next is 8610, 123 into 70. And largest is 8638, which is 1234 into 7. That's the answer. Question 16. Hassan draws a straight line joining the point 1, 2 and 9, 2. Draw a ring around all the points that are on his line. So, well, as we can see here, the y-coordinate is 2. That means all the y-coordinates are 2 on this line. And the x-coordinates should be between 1 and 9. That's the only condition. So, actually, all 3 of these points will be on that line, because the y-coordinate's 2 and the x-coordinate's between 1 and 9. That's the answer. Question 17. Safia starts at 52 and counts backwards in 7s. Mia starts with -10 and counts forward in 9s. Write the number that they both say. So for Safia, you go for 52 and then counts backwards in 7. So minus 7. 45, 38, 31, 24. And then you go to 17 and then you have 10 and so on. And now for Mia, it'll go minus 10, minus 1, 8, 17, 26, 35, 44, and so on. So 17 is common in both of these, right? So the number that they both say is 17. That's the answer. Question 18. Here's a grid of squares. Rotate the triangle 90 degrees anti-clockwise about point A. So 90 degrees anti-clockwise, that means you go this direction. So point A will stay where it is because that's the center of rotation. Now for point B, it is 2 up and 2 left from point A, which is center of rotation. I'll just mark that. And for point B, it's 2 up and 2 left. Meaning, if we rotate this 90 degrees, this 2 up will become a 2 left, and this 2 left will become a 2 down. So the point B, new, will be over here. So now that will be point B. Now for point C, this point is 3 up and 4 right from point A. So now this 3 up will become 3 right, 4 right will become 4 up. So it'll go up there. And that is point C. We can label that. And now just connect the dots to draw our triangle. That's the answer. Question 19. Calculate 32.723 plus 60 by 1000. 60 by 1000 can be written as 6 by 100, which is equal to 0.06. So 32.723 plus 0.06, which is equal to 32.793. And that is our answer. Let's go to question 20. Take all of the correct statements. All kites can be made with 2 identical scalene triangles, 2 identical equilateral triangles, 2 different isosceles triangles, 2 different equilateral triangles. The answer is actually 2 identical scalene triangles. So a kite, let's just take a random kite diagram. A kite, let's just divide it like that, right? That's one of the diagonals. And these 2 triangles formed by that division are 2 identical scalene triangles. So kites can be made with that. And that is our answer. Question 21. Give an example of a data collection that's best represented by a line graph. So we can say, because a line graph, let's just say it's a time graph, right? Because line graph, the x-axis is usually time. And let's say rate of heating of water in 5 minutes recorded per minute. So that means that the temperature increase in water in a total of 5 minutes, but then you record the temperature of the water per minute. I'm not going to go too deep into science, but well, this is just one example because you have time and you have temperature. So these 2 values are trends and we can represent in a line graph. They both vary. That's the answer. Question 22. Naomi thinks of a number. The number rounds up when rounded to the nearest tenth and down when rounded to the nearest whole number. Complete Naomi's number. Well, when nearest tenth, that means the hundredth should be greater than or equal to 5. So let us say that's 6. And for nearest whole number, that means the 10th digit should be less than 5. So let's just put it as 2. So 3.26. You can put any number from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 in the 10th digit over here. And over here, you can put 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's the answer. Question 23. Here's part of a sequence. The sequence is made by subtracting a constant amount from the previous term. Write the 8th term. Show you're working. Second term is 1.6. Sixth term is 0.4. There are 4 terms in between them. Value is subtracted 4 times. Let's say the subtracted value or the subtracted constant is equal to n. So 4n, because you subtract 4 times, that will be equal to 0.4 minus 1.6, which is equal to minus 1.2. So n is equal to minus 0.3 if we did it correctly. So you subtract 0.3 each time. So now the seventh term will be equal to 0.4 minus 0.3, which is equal to 0.1. The eighth term will be equal to 0.1 minus 0.3, which is equal to minus 0.2, and that's the what we need in the question, so that's the answer. Let's go to question 24. Yuri uses a computer to model the roll of 2 dice 1,000 times. He records the result when the computer program rolls a 6 on either dice. Here are his results. A. Yuri adds the two numbers on his 2 dice. Complete the sentence. When Yuri rolls a 6, the total on the dice that occurs least often is dash. So as you can see, the frequency is 28. That's the lowest for 6 and 6. So total will be 6 plus 6, which is 12. That least often. That's the answer. B. Yuri uses the data to predict the likelihood of rolling a 1 on both dice. Draw a ring around the word that correctly describes this likelihood. So the answer is actually impossible. So they have asked to use only the data which is given in the table over here to predict the likelihood of rolling a 1 on both dice. Since there's no 1 on the first dice, there's no chance of a 1 being on both dice at the same time. So the answer is impossible. That's the answer. Let's go to question 25. Question 25. Here's a drawing of a shape on isometric paper. Shape is made of 7 cubes joined together. Angelique draws another shape. She joins the two shapes to make the smallest cuboid that she can. Draw Angelique's shape. So well, the cuboid which is made is actually 2 by 2 by 3 because that's the length which is already given. We can see that 3 is the length over here. 3, the height is 2 and the width is 2. So we need to fill in this block over here, and then we need to fill in the one right below it as well, and then we need to fill in this one right here, and then after we fill in that, we also need to fill in the one on top of that, and we need to fill in the one over here, right? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks which you need to fill in, and we can draw it by doing this. So that's 1 like that, another one like that, these won't be seen, so that's like that, and now the ones below that will also be there, and something like this, and then there's one more block right here which needs to be filled. So this is actually the shape which you attach to this to get that cuboid. By the way, the cube right below this one over here is actually there because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shown. So there's one which is not shown that's under this one. That's the answer. Question 26. Chen has 4-digit cards. He says all the numbers I could make with my 4 cards are 4-digit numbers that are divisible by 6. Write 4 numbers that Chen could have on his cards. So if they're 4-digit numbers divisible by 6, that means that all of the digits added together should be divisible by 3 and they should be even numbers. So for example, we can write 2, 4, 6, 6. Because when we add them, it's 18, which is divisible by 3, right? And then all of these are even numbers. So every card you can make are 4-digit numbers. That's why we haven't included 0, because if there was a 0, that means it'll be like, there's a possibility of, for example, 0666, meaning this is not 4-digit. This can be cancelled. So it has to not have a 0. So 4-digit numbers that are divisible by 6. Yes, it's divisible by 6 because all are even numbers, so whichever comes in the ones digit, it will be even. And then it's divisible by 3 as well, because if we add it, it's 18 by 3, as I said, which is 6 whole numbers, so it's divisible. This is not the only answer. There's also 2, 4, 4, 8, or 2, 2, 6, 8, and answers like that. This just saying that's not the only one, the one which I've written. That's the answer. Question 27. Rajiv and Carlos each choose a set of 3 prime numbers. Total of each set is 30. A. Write 3 numbers that Rajiv could choose. So if the total is 30, odd plus odd is equal to even, right? And even plus odd is equal to odd. But 30 is even, right? So that means one of them has to be even. So 2 is the only even prime number. Otherwise, the answer of adding them would be odd. Let's say 3, 5, 7. This one adds up to 15, which is an odd number. You can take any 3 odd numbers, add them up. You will always get an odd number, so we cannot use that. We have to use one even number and 2 odd numbers. So now the remaining is 28, which is the sum of these 2 numbers. Now I will just put 11 and 17. There is also another answer though. What is it? Yeah, it's 5 and 23. But the 2 has to be there, and it's either 11 and 17 or 5 and 23. That's the answer. B. Write the number that both Rajiv and Carlos must have in their set. Explain your answer. Well, the answer is 2. Because odd plus odd plus odd, as I said, 3 odds, they make an odd number. But 30 is even. So there has to be one even prime number there. I write numbers NO, which is only 2. That's the answer. Let's go to question 28. Here are 6 digit cards. Use the digit cards to write the calculation with the largest even answer. So first of all, let's make it even. Even minus even is equal to even, and odd minus odd is equal to even. So even minus even, or odd minus odd, which one gives the larger answer for the ones digit? Odd minus odd is actually correct. I'll tell you why. 7 minus 5 is the correct answer for the ones digits, and now it's 8, 6, and 1, 3. Because we need the smallest possible number over here and also the largest possible number here. But then both of them have to be either odd odd or even even to get an even answer. That's why we've written 7 minus 5, because the hundreds and tens digit have to be less than the ones digit. Only then you'll get the smallest answer. 100 should be the lowest number, 10 should be the second lowest, and this should be the highest. But then all the larger values, digits, have to be in this number, which is the one you're subtracting from. And that's our answer. This is the only answer. There's no other answers for this. And with that, I come to the end of the video. Please like this video, subscribe to our channel, share this video with your friends and family, and comment on how you think this video was. With that, it's me, Sanjay Vasu, signing out. Thank you. Bye.